What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Open Door Creative. Today we're going to do some Q&A. So since I've made the channel, I've been getting tons of questions through both comments and emails, and I've chosen a select few today that I hope can help everyone as a whole. So our first couple questions are going to come from a viewer named Shan. He wrote, "What kind of education is optimal for becoming an art director? I have read that you can educate yourself as a graphic designer and become an art director eventually, but I also know about some programs that have an art director path. What do you think is best?" There are multiple ways you can learn and educate yourself before entering that, first job. You can do it just by learning everything on YouTube and building a portfolio from scratch on your own. You can go to a portfolio school like the Miami Ad School, or you can go to a four-year university, and a lot of them now have great programs that both can lead you down an art director or graphic design path. I went through the Texas Creative Program at the University of Texas, so I'm a little bit biased. I think that's the best program in the nation, but really there's no wrong answer. If you go down an art director path, you can still become a graphic designer. If you go down a graphic design route, you can still become an art director. You're gaining those initial skills in that foundation that are both needed. The only difference is if you go through an art director path, you're going to focus a lot more on the conceptual and brainstorming part of the job. And if you go down a graphic design route, you're going to go way more into the programs, finessing those skills and making things look very polished. So to shortly answer your question, I would go down an art director path if possible if you want to be an art director. But if your university only has graphic design programs, it is totally fine. Just really work on sharpening those skills and then creating conceptual campaigns on the side. It just matters how you position it in your portfolio and how you sell yourself when you're going in for that first job. All right, number 2, some classes I want to study or require a portfolio before entering school, but I just finished high school, so I have not had the opportunity to make one yet. Should I go to some courses that can help me, or is a portfolio necessary to be good? Okay, so yes, those big portfolio schools definitely require a portfolio. And it's important to show any strengths that you have in your art. So if you're a great illustrator, show illustration. If you're a great photographer, show great photography. You're not expected to know everything yet, but you should put forth something that symbolizes who you are, at least at this point in time. And realize that that's totally cool if that changes down the road. Many universities don't require an initial portfolio. At many universities, they equip you with a prompt to get into the program, and you have to solve that prompt in a creative way, and that's typically how you get in. If I get into one of the schools I want, how do you think I should work? Should I focus on teaching myself everything a little, or should I become very good at something and master it? All right, this is a great question. So I would tell you to become good at something and master it. And the reason for that is it's your differentiator when you're going for that job. Like if you can do something really, really well, and then that agency has that need, whether that's animation, typography, or whatnot, that's really gonna put you in a great seat to get a job and stand you apart from your competitors. But if you don't have a specialty or know what your specialty is yet, it is extremely important to dabble in a little bit of everything. Now, I recommend if you have enough time to do a little bit of both. Definitely keep exploring on one side and then just really refine one section. But if you're not able to do that and you had to focus your time into one thing, be really good at something if you know what that something is. Does your workday allow you to have time to do what you want in life? All right, so the work-life balance question comes up a lot. And honestly, just like all these questions, everything is very variable. There are many agencies that do act as sweatshops. You're there all the time. And that's just an honest question you're gonna have to ask yourself upon entering in. Maybe working all those late hours is gonna help you grow quicker. Or maybe it's very important to you to have that work-life balance, and really you just have to find the agency and the team that's right for you. So I think when you go into your initial interview, if time is an extremely important thing that you value, to bring that up, ask that question. What time do people typically get off at that job? As much as you want to look good in front of the interviewer, you need to make sure it's the right place for you. At Tracy Locke, we have great time management. I think I have an excellent work-life balance. Yes, nights are gonna come where you have to stay there super late. You might be there till 2 a.m. working on a pitch or something, but I'd say most of the time you have that pretty much 9 to 5 schedule. I probably get there at 8:30 and leave at 5:30 pretty much every single day. All right, so our next question comes from Alex. So Alex says, I'm a photographer interested in entering the art director career path. How would I start adding stuff to my portfolio? I've curated exhibitions which needed to find graphic designers and think of titles. Is this relevant? All right, Alex, so if you want to be an art director and you've predominantly done photography, it is very important that you learn a lot of the graphic design skills and put big thinking and conceptual campaigns into your book. This is what's going to get you the job. The photography is a nice extra, and that's a way you can differentiate yourself, but I recommend making a separate photography section within your portfolio. And that way you can show that you have the design skills and the conceptual thinking, but you're also showing that you have a specialty in photography, and that's totally cool. That's one way to attack it. All right, and our last question comes from Paradigm Shift 22, which says, how feasible is it to freelance full-time right out of ad school with no agency experience? All right, so it's definitely possible, but do know it will be a lot of work. Being a freelancer is basically running your own business, which can come with a lot of hurdles at the beginning as you're trying to navigate dealing with clients, sending invoices, and doing all the kind of business side of creating. Most people do freelance after they've been in the agency world a little bit. And that's just because they're gaining a lot of those computer skills as well as learning about how the business works. But don't let me discourage you. You'll just have to put a lot of time into gaining those projects and jobs. It's a little bit hard at first to get a full plate consistently, and do know that through the year, it ebb and flows. So some days you might be super busy and some days you might have nothing to do. And that means that some months you're banking and then some months are a little slow. So make sure that you save for that. And yeah, that was fun. If you guys have any more questions for me, make sure to comment them below in this video or send me an email at opendoorcreative.com, and I will be sure to get to it and answer your questions in an upcoming video. Thanks for watching.